As my wife is quick to point out, I am not a doctor. Hello, my name is Michael Stack, and I'm the CEO of AMAX. And while that is 100% true, I am not a medical doctor of any kind. I do have resources, as you do, to understand and get a sense of how long the expected amount of time is to recover from a certain type of injury. So this weekend, it was a beautiful, warm day. It was 50 degrees, and up here in Maine in March, in the beginning of spring, that feels incredibly warm. It was beautifully sunny. It was a warm day. My wife and I went out for a run. We live near the ocean up here in Maine. We're running along the beach there, and oh, my hamstring! Oh, there was a shooting pain in my hamstring, and I was like, oh man! And so I stopped, and then she kept running, and I'm like, I'm gonna just walk for a bit, and then I ended up just sitting down and said, why don't you go grab the car, run back home, grab the car, and come back and pick me up. It was more than a cramp. Certainly, pull, strain, tear, small tear of some sort. I can look up and understand how long a hamstring is expected to recover, how long that kind of time is. And I can get a sense, particularly in this acute stage of the injury, of where I'm going and if I'm on that track or not. And if I'm following that track and if it's going well and it's recovering in the expected amount of time, then I'm in pretty good shape. If it's not doing that, if I'm having more complications, then I do need to go see a doctor. I do need to go see a physical therapist. I do need to go see someone who can give me that medical advice and attention from an expert level standpoint of how to intentionally have that injury help to recover, some exercises, etc. Any other recommendations that medical profession would give me. Understanding these injury duration guidelines, and there's two publishers of these. There is MD Guidelines, so MD Guidelines, and this is published by the Reed Group, and there's also ODG Guidelines. So ODG Guidelines, and you can go to ODG and look those up. Injury duration guidelines. I am not a doctor. You are likely not a doctor, or maybe you are if you're watching this. But if you're not, you can use injury duration guidelines in the exact same way that I've used them for my hamstring injury to understand how long I'm expected to recover. And in the exact same way, if things are going along well with your injured worker for that shoulder injury, for that hip injury, for that back strain, whatever the injury is, in accordance with MD guidelines or ODG guidelines, these injury duration guidelines, then you know things are on track. When they're not on track, you get extra help. When they're not on track from what is recommended, you get extra help, whether it's case management or a peer review physician, an IME, whatever the right solution is with your claims handling team to understand. But the injury duration guidelines can be the foundation for your understanding. If you didn't go to medical school, you're not a physical therapy expert, you're not an occupational therapist, but you can read, as I can, and understand whether you are on track, your injured worker is on track or not. Again, my name is Michael Stack, and I'm the CEO of AMAX. Remember, your work today in workers' compensation can have a dramatic impact on your company's bottom line, but it will have a dramatic impact on someone's life. So be great.